Do you have any thoughts now on crypto?
Well, it's taken its own life. I do little things sometimes for fun and, make money with it, but I have fun with it too.
You mean
NFTs,
you bought Bitcoin?
No, but I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or we'll let people get involved in a new. If you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way. But I will tell you, it has taken on a life. But I have seen there has been a lot of use of that, and I'm not sure that I'd want to take it away at this point.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and boy, oh boy, have we got some action. Litecoin, Avalanche, Toncoin, and XRP, along with Near and Algorand, well, those are the big gainers among the top 100 by market cap. We're at a 2.72 trillion total market cap. It's a 3.5 increase over the last day. Bitcoin is currently, sticking very solid over 72,000. At the time of this recording, it's at 72,539. And Brad Garlinghouse tweeted out as XRP crossed over the 70-cent mark. He said that the BTC, Bitcoin, ETF volumes have been soaring, and we're due for a halving, and the broader crypto market is following BTC's lead, as has historically been the case. As someone who has experienced multiple cycles of crypto is back, it's imperative this bullishness go hand in hand with real-world utility. That's the real and inevitable march of progress. And as Bitcoin flips silver, have a listen to Michael Saylor. He's got an interesting perspective.
Does it ever have to be a currency? Or do you think it ever becomes a quote-unquote currency?
It doesn't have to be a currency. Nobody's trying to buy a cup of coffee with a fraction of their building on Fifth Avenue, right? But every rich person I know owns property in London or New York City or somewhere. And none of them complain about not being able to spend their building as a medium of exchange. So the killer application is capital preservation for everybody. The store of value is the killer use case. Medium of exchange is a distraction. Governments are always going to issue currency. They're always going to make it legal tender. And that's just fine. Bitcoin's competing with gold. It's going to eat it. And then it's competing with risk assets as a long-term hold, and it's competing with you buying an Airbnb as a retirement income source if you're a middle-class person.
XSpectar did it. They are live with their beta. I downloaded the software, got in, moved around. It's beautiful. David Schwartz said he's excited to try it out. There's an XSpectar beta full guide, which I'm going to put in the description of this video. It'll help you get through the hurdles of setting up your software. After about 45 minutes, I finally figured it out, and I do believe if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm really excited for this. X is going to be the #1 live streaming site on the planet in 2024. So people are expecting. With Elon announcing an algo boost coming this week, you need to start today. This guy's been streaming on X for the past year. He put out the only guide you'll ever need to streaming on X in his thread. It is at AlexFinX. This is a tough one. On the high volume, high demand days, ETH is just atrocious. 8,441 Gala coins were attempted to be moved, and sending them was going to cost $632. crazy. There is one blockchain that's not crazy, and that is Flare. I had a great conversation today with Jake Lee. I'm going to let a clip mashup take you out on this video, and I've got the full version of my conversation with Jake, which will upload tomorrow. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Firstly, Eri, thank you very much for inviting me to have this conversation. I think you and I both share an extreme passion for the future of real world assets as a major use case on the blockchain. Real world assets can be two things, tangible and intangible. So tangible are things in the real world that are valuable to us. That might be a watch, for example. That might be a gold bar, a diamond, a piece of art. The other side is intangible. So a really good example of this is music. We cannot expect people to just start learning how to use the blockchain to be able to partake in the ownership of tokenized real world assets. We have to build solutions that enable the everyday user to interact with tokenized assets without even really needing to know what's going on a fundamental level with the blockchain.
So through the XRP community, we both were probably introduced to Flare because of the airdrop. And we've been following Hugo's progress and the team that he's built, which is quite amazing. And I really see Flare as coming into its own and being quite unique and one of the best protocols out there. But I just would love to hear from you what makes Flare special.
Sure. So I'm going to relate this kind of directly to the theme of this talk, which is the tokenization of real world assets. And I spoke previously about Flare's FTSO and how we're already utilizing that to enable us to present a more familiar user interface to online students by allowing us to kind of price our courses in dollars and then translate that back to the amount that it costs in real time of Flare. But we've already deployed the smart contract for the first real world asset that we're creating for our first course, and the process was completely seamless. I think the fact that they have Cost on the testing network, which is great, and then also Songbird as the Canary network. And so being able to go through the levels before real mainnet deployment is super helpful, like that infrastructure that they have. And as I already said, like Flare is ultimately very scalable as a technology, and it's also scalable because of the costs. So if, for example, I put a real world asset on Ethereum for the access to online education, and I said, Samar, you can come buy this education pass, it's $79, and they go to complete their transaction, and it says, oh, the fee here is $110 in total because of the ETH gas fee. It's just not usable technology for the mass audience. You can't just start slapping massive fees on top of things. So Flare's low fees is definitely going to help the translation of real world assets to existing industries. The drive for Web 2.5, the depth of Flare's team, the low cost, the scalability, the testing networks. I was going to add a couple more points. The interoperability of Flare as well. The decentralized nature of Flare through the proof of stake mechanism, the security as well, also coming into there. You've got layer cake, and also just generally the transparency of the blockchain and even the fact that there hasn't really been a single point of failure in the network. So that I've kind of just spat out a load of reasons as to why Flare is the perfect home for us. And also why Flare is the perfect home for tokenizing real world assets, which again could be a potential $16 trillion market within the next 5 to 6 years. And I don't think any blockchain is yet to really kind of grab hold of it and say real world assets is ours. So I'm going to do everything in my power, and I hope that you will too, Eri, to try and bring that narrative and stick it on Flare.
I'm working on it, Jake. I'm working on it. I'm really glad you brought all those points. They're so important for everyone to know. So thanks for spending your afternoon with me. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.